I am Darcy Turner. I'm one of the OMM fellows here at KCU Joplin, and I was Researcher of the Year. I have my master's degree in chemical engineering, and I've done a decent amount of research over the last like 6 or 7 years with about 8 publications and about 30 projects. So let's get on it. So Naeem, unfortunately, one of my friends couldn't make it because he had a family emergency, but he just matched into orthopedic surgery and helped make this presentation with me. So tips and tricks. So I think one of the biggest things we could help our students with is networking, even if it's outside of KCU. One example would be that in Joplin, prior to even starting at KCU, I was on Student Doctor Network, and what many of the students here know is that that is a very popular website, especially for pre-medical students. And I met my primary investigator that I did 7 of my 8 publications with from Oklahoma State via Student Doctor Network, and actually got 2 publications prior to even starting medical school in regards to the, it was cancer research from the National Cancer Comprehensive Network. I think one thing we should also be talking to our students about is that joining projects, when we join projects, they should be, really influenced based on the time frame they have. We're not here with, 2 to 4 years based on a master's degree or a PhD trying to get research done. We have a limited amount of time. We might have 1 summer between first and second year. So it's crucial to our students that we get quick, beneficial projects, especially in their field of medicine that they're interested in going into, done. Lastly, when struggling to find opportunities, we have to be proactive. Hence, I met somebody on Student Doctor Network and was able to get multiple publications via that networking opportunity. So why should we be getting involved in research? Obviously, there's passion behind the topic, and I think that based on that passion, we also understand scientific methodology way greater. We're able to read and write significantly better than most students actually can. For example, this past year, I've been put on multiple projects specifically because faculty know that I'm able to write very well. Additionally, it's obvious that publications and conference presentations will help improve our CV and our residency applications. And then lastly, we're gonna have appreciation for how difficult research really is. There's a lot of hours that take into writing 1 paper or doing 1 project. So I think students would gain multiple skills in attaining research. All right, so what do we do in our preclinical years? So first 2 years, sorry, I had to put a cute baby up there. All right, so first 2 years, I think it's beneficial for our students to start gaining research experience specifically within their first and second year. I think it's extremely beneficial, and it might be even more beneficial with the big faculty we have in KC campus to get involved with our KC faculty, network with your physicians, know who you work with, and also try to reach out outside of KCU. Clinical years. So this is where I really started enjoying writing. I found that writing case presentations was very intriguing because I knew the person personally, if that makes any sense. I think there's this misconception in research that we have to have all these publications, but in reality, even just presenting a poster at a conference is the same on our ASRISC residency application as a publication. So I think as a university, we should start promoting the fact that we can even do, case presentations or even reviews of specific topics and get our students more involved, especially after the merging of the AOA or DOs and MDs in 2020. All right, so what are competitive residencies looking for? And this was mostly Naeem, who just matched orthopedic surgery. So his perspective was that they want research experience. As I said, it doesn't mean publications, especially DO programs that aren't necessarily known for research. They want to know that you can take a project from the beginning to the end. if you cannot finish a project, that is a big red flag. I know multiple students that have been like kicked off rotations because they said they were going to start a project with a not faculty, but a physician, and the physician got very upset because they didn't follow through with what they were doing. So my biggest point about this is, you know, finish what you start and don't take on what you can't do. When interviewing, if you do research, make sure you know what you're talking about. Make sure you're integrating your case study, integrated in your clinical trial, or even your meta-analysis. In Joplin, our MKRC is very beneficial, as well as the KC department is a beneficial resource. Essentially, research is a cornerstone of medicine, and we think it's extremely beneficial. And I think moving forward, we need to push forward and get our students involved in even more research than we already are. Thank you.
Thank you, Darcy. Don't leave yet. There might be questions. Questions from here, from Kansas City. Dr. Sarsour.
Thank you for the great presentation. It's not a question. I will really like to see this presentation given to first-year students every year when they come at KCU, because that will help them immensely. It's done by the students. They know, they collected the experiences, and now usually students listen to students, don't listen to us much. So I really want, I hope, you know, you put that so somehow part of the, you know, orientation for the students. Thank you very much. This is great.
Thank you.
Any other questions from here in Kansas City? Comments? Okay, we've got a few. Let's see, Jackie, and then Dr. White.
Hi, I was just wondering, for cross-campus research, how common that is for KCU students to collab with other comm programs across the United States?
I don't know how common it is. I was actually the first in our KCU Joplin campus to start doing that, as I said, like prior to starting medical school. And then when I got here, we actually got multiple students from both KC campus and Joplin campus to Tulsa, and then COVID hit. And we haven't really been able to get students back. So I don't know if it's common, but I think it's a really, really beneficial resource, especially like, so Oklahoma State has so many resources being a state-funded research laboratory, if that makes any sense. So I thought that getting our students in there was extremely beneficial. I got 4 publications in 1 month of working at Oklahoma State. I don't know if that helps. And as I said, publications aren't the end of everything, but they definitely do help.
I don't want you to think that that's how research goes. You get 4 publications in 1 month, because that is exceptional.
Well, ours was, we worked like 18-hour days doing meta-analysis.
Okay.
And I'm aware of how research goes. I did like multiple projects in my master's degree in chemical engineering, focusing on polymer biomaterials using RNA, which was my question from the last presentation. I just thought it was beneficial to like bypass the IRB and bypass the time process that, especially at KCU, IRBs take months here, and we can get projects done in a month. So why are we wasting our time waiting for an IRB when I can get really beneficial work for our students done within that short period of time?
Okay, those of us who have to deal with IRBs know that that's a problem. We are working on shortening that time because of the necessity of doing that. So don't let that interfere with your interest in doing research, because we have mechanisms to help with that. I will make one more comment before we go to Dr. White. I can remember from past research symposia from here, other students who collaborated with other institutions across the country. So I wouldn't say it's super common, but it certainly has happened before, and we expect it to happen again in the future. Dr. White.
I just wanted to mention, just a comment, that at KCU, historically, students in their third and fourth year can do rotations in laboratories, a 1-month full-time rotation. I actually had a student in their fourth year who spent back-to-back a 2-month rotation in my lab. And when he went for his interview for his residency and they found out he was doing research, he told me that the rest of the interview, about 40 minutes, was just on his research.
Completely agree. That's why, right, it's so important, I think, especially moving forward with the merger and everything that's going on with residency placements.
Okay, really good comments. Lots of things to think about after this.